Oh, I wonder why. You only had a steak, 2 eggs, 3 pancakes, and a waffle.
The sign said, all you can eat. I was just following the directions.
Hi. Long time no see. I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
He said, not long enough. What are you doing here? What do you want?
I came to see you.
He said, then you wasted a trip.
Picking up right where we left off. Thank you for helping translate. Are you his interpreter?
No, I'm his friend. I'm deaf too.
Oh.
How do you know Troy?
Known him since he was born. I'm his big brother, Ben.
Troy never mentioned he had a brother.
Yeah, well, probably because he wishes he didn't. On the narrowest of chances that he changes his mind and wants to get a hold of me, could you give him this? It's got my email, where I'm staying. Thanks again.
Troy's brother's business card says he's from Chicago. It seems a shame he made this trip for nothing.
We don't know the story. Troy could have a very good reason for wanting nothing to do with Ben.
Well, maybe we should find out what that reason is. If not from Troy, from Ben.
All right, listen up, people. RCMP took down a drug warehouse north of Toronto.
Excuse me,
Sorry. Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
You know, like Dudley Do-Right and his horseback riding, red-coated friend.
He was a cartoon character.
I remember him. I just never watched him. His lips were too hard to read.
Canadian intelligence says the warehouse they busted is a way station for stepping down heroin that belongs to a Chinese gang, the Scorpions. They believe the shipment is headed for a Scorpions distribution center located right here in D.C.
Stepping down?
Stepping down means they take the pure heroin and mix it with other powders like sugar, starch, quinine, strychnine, to name a few. Makes the heroin go further, thus getting more bang for their buck.
This can also make it more hazardous to the health of the street drug-buying consumer.
The leader of the Scorpions is Yang Wu.
Mostly what we know about Wu is that he's extremely elusive. We've had an interest in him for some time, but we can never get close to him.
Well, we're going to try yet again. We know that Wu and the Scorpions own a lounge and supper club here called the Black Dragon Club. Since Wu's MO is to avoid hanging out in such public places, the Black Dragon's run by his top lieutenant, Tommy Chen. We suspect the place is as much a front for running and dealing drugs as it is a dining and drinking establishment. There's a high likelihood that some of the heroin will at least pass through there. We plan to be there when it does by going undercover at the Black Dragon.
How are we going to do that? The reason Chinese gangs are called Chinese gangs is that all the members of the gang tend to be Chinese.
How do you do it, Miles? Always so insightful.
The Black Dragon has a house band. Quite good, I've been told. Unfortunately, and not coincidentally, the lead singer has just been incarcerated on delinquent child support payments. Consequently, Tommy Chen is in dire need of a new singer. He's put out a notice he's holding auditions.
What does that have to do with us?
His singer's an Elvis impersonator. You might say, one Elvis just left the building, another one's about to enter.
You know the problem with taking down a Chinese gang? Our lady want to take down another one. But well, come on, Ronnie, give me a rim shot, man. Yeah, give me a little help here. I'm a singer, not a comedian. Thank you very much.
Don't laugh, Colonel Parker. You're going undercover with him as his manager.
Good to be back working with you, Colonel. Oh, no. No, I really mean that, man. I mean, just like old times.
The ironic part of this is that Elvis always wanted to be a federal agent. He even met with President Nixon to discuss it.
Yeah, they made a movie about it. Elvis Meets Nixon. The guy who played Elvis was good.
But not as good as you, Bobby.
Well, thank you. Priscilla, honey, get the king of fudgesicle, will you, please? Baby, you smell magical. Yeah.
If I live to be 100 and never see the 7 wonders, that'll be alright. Should my tender heart be broken, I will cry those teardrops knowing I will be just fine. 'Cause nothing changes who I am. I am Rosemary's granddaughter, the spitting image of my father.
Tommy Chen has been running the Black Dragon Club for Yang Wu for about a year, but he obviously sees even bigger things in his future. Chen is upwardly ambitious and has very little patience, a potentially deadly combination if you happen to be the person above him on the food chain. This is the hostess at the club, Chen's longtime girlfriend, Nancy Ling, nicknamed Bunny. She and Chen have a volatile relationship, mostly due to the fact that he is very much the jealous type. He's put guys in the hospital or worse just because he felt they were paying too much attention to Bunny.
Bunny's our mark. Anything that Chen's involved in, she knows about it.
What makes us think she'll tell us?
She's tried several times to get out of the gang and away from Chen, but there's no way he'll let her go.
So if she thought somebody could get her out, she might be willing to share some of what she knows.
Exactly. We want to keep the heroin from hitting the streets, but more importantly, we want to take down Chen by tying it to him.
And Wu?
Well, obviously, Wu would be a nice bonus gift. It's unlikely he'll be personally involved.
Well, E, we have an audition to get to. Guess we'd better buy you a new jumpsuit. You know, the white one with the sequins was always my favorite.
Here's an idea. Perhaps this time around, Colonel Parker could wear the outfit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well.
Perhaps not.
I think you'll be very pleased with your purchase. Yeah, thanks very much. Come again. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Jack! Sue, my two favorite people. And Levi, my third favorite person.
Hey, Harry. What are you selling now?
Selling? What makes you think I'm selling anything?
We're not trying to put you out of business, Howie. We're just curious.
You are gonna love these. Huh? Is that a thing of beauty or what?
It's very pretty, Harry. But cell phone doesn't really help me.
This one could. Yeah, it's got text messaging. Yeah. And it takes pictures. You know, you two are a very nice-looking couple.
Harry, do you know anything about the Scorpions, a Chinese gang?
I know enough to know I don't want to know anything about them. Why?
We hear they're expecting a large shipment of heroin, and we're wondering if you know anyone who knows anything about that.
I'll ask around and let you know.
Thanks.
Hey, how about a group shot, huh? Come here, Levi.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. I said his truth is marching on.
He's the closest thing to Elvis since... Elvis.
He's good.
Just so you know, I got some people down in Vegas begging me to bring him out. They've offered us the main room at the Primrose Palace out on the Strip.
You don't have to convince me your guy's in demand. You got the gig.
Great! Good! Now, I have to check with the Primrose people before I can commit.
Hey, man. You're good. You start tomorrow night.
I've got a good feeling about you. You're gonna do really well here.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Bunny runs the place. If you need anything, she'll get it for you. She, however, is not on the menu. Drop the contracts, Mr. Manager.
All right. Yes. Well, I think you may already have your first groupie.
We appreciate your meeting with us.
I appreciate you asking me to. So, do you think maybe you can convince my little brother to stay in the room with me for more than 2 minutes?
We were wondering why he doesn't want to. Troy won't tell us.
Well, the short answer is I bailed on him. No big fight, no dramatic scene, just long, slow abandonment. When we were little, we were best buds. Two musketeers.
Obviously, a lot of things have changed.
Yeah, the world intervened. We went to school, and I started to realize Troy was different, and that being his brother made me different too. Only, I didn't want to be different. I wanted to be like everyone else. So I started pulling away and hanging out with other kids. Troy got left behind, left alone. He went to his own school, got his own language. And then as we got older, kids would make fun of Troy, and I wouldn't do anything to stop it. By the end of high school, it's like we weren't even brothers anymore, just two guys living in the same house. And then, not even that. I got out, I went to college, and Troy went to the street. Some people take longer to grow up, and I took longer than most. I can't take back what I did, no matter how much I'd like to. But I can try to do things differently from now on, if you'll give me a chance.
I'm having some people over for dinner tonight. I was hoping that you guys would come.
Oh, I wish I could. My bowling team's in the finals, and they're counting on their anchor man to bring home the trophy. No. I'll take this one.
Maybe you should tell him who else is coming to dinner.
Babe.
Hey, it's just dinner. What have you got to lose?
The only reason why he's here is because he wants something. All he wants is to apologize, to make things right.
Try it. And if you still hate him, you never have to see him again.
Harry came through with a name.
Eric Lee, a mid-level drug distributor for the Scorpions.
He got out of prison 6 months ago. Went away on a dime, only did a nickel. 10-year sentence, only did 5 years.
Oh, we know what it means. We just didn't know you were so down with the convict lingo.
Do I sound straight?
So Eric Lee is out on federal parole, which means we can search him without a warrant.
Right. Only we don't want to yet.
Yeah, we want to wait till we have something on him that we can use as leverage against him. My feeling is we won't have to wait very long.
We have people watching him. As soon as he slips up, we'll take him down.
Miles, I've got some requisition forms for you to sign.
I can't be bothered with trivialities. I have a show to produce, and it's opening night.
Where's the main attraction?
Rehearsing. He knows what's good for him. The critics in this town will eat you alive.
You think you could pull some strings so that Sue and I could get a table for tonight's performance?
Oh, everybody's favorite undercover couple, the charming Hudsons, making an appearance at the Black Dragon, are they?
It's our anniversary. And since we had Blue Hawaii sung at our wedding, or at least Jack tells me we did, we thought, what better way to celebrate than Chinese food and an Elvis impersonator? That's my story, if anyone asks.
Well, don't come if you're camera shy. That place has more video feeds than the Super Bowl. Tommy Chen is extremely paranoid.
His paranoia is our perfect opportunity. Miles found the central video feed, and with a little clever, clandestine wiring, we've tapped into it.
I'm betting we'll be privy to a reality show like nothing you've ever seen. Oh, the good news is that the lovely and talented Bunny has taken quite a shine to Bobby, or the King, as he insists I call him now.
Maybe we need to show Bunny that Bobby is somebody she can count on.
Come on, little baby, won't you walk with me? Come on, little baby, won't you talk with me? 'Cause I'm only lonely for you. Come on, little baby, I've been up all night. Come on, little baby, 'cause you're such a sight. And I'm only lonely for you. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Woo! Good to see so many loyal fans out there tonight. Oh. Well, as you can see, reports of my death were greatly exaggerated. Well, I'll tell you some more stories about that right after we take a little break. Okay, now don't you go anywhere now. All right. Hey, my boy. Woo. Hey, you got any donuts with them little sprinkles on them, man? Woo! Well, aren't you a pretty little lady? If he sends you to the Heartbreak Hotel, you just let old Elvis know. I'll send the Memphis Mafia to take care of things.
I'm sure it'll make them all shook up.
Hey, glad to see you're enjoying the show. Tell your friends. Looks like we have a bit of a situation developing.
That's very flattering, but I'm already spoken for.
So am I, baby. That don't mean we can't make beautiful music together.
Hey, man. Name's Elvis. What's yours?
It's okay, Bobby. I can handle it.
Elvis, it's a private party. Why don't you shuffle on back to Graceland? Come on, baby.
The lady said no, so maybe it's time for you to leave. Hmm?
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
Listen, just look, Bobby, I know Elvis used to open with C.C. Ryder, but he was Elvis. We need to open with something more familiar, like Hound Dog or Jailhouse Rock or... No. Opening with My Way? It's a bad idea. Viva Las Vegas I could live with. It's done. Ciao, baby. Just a little dog and pony show for Chen's benefit. Bobby's at the club, and you never know when Chen might want to listen in.
Okay, I get that, but tell me you didn't just say, ciao, baby.
It's showbiz, sweetheart. And it's my life. By the way, Chen is obviously happy with the show. He just invited Bobby to work out with him at his own private workout studio. Probably looking for a long-term deal.
I gotta admit, Bobby was really good.
Well, I don't know exactly how it sounded, but he certainly had Elvis's moves.
I'm getting a picture in my mind. I don't think I'll ever be able to look at Bobby the same way again.
Me neither. Now that we're tapped into the club's video feed, we got people monitoring and taping. There's not much that's going to go on at that club that we don't see.
Found anything interesting yet?
So far, I can tell you that Chen and Bunny seem to argue a lot. And at one point, Chen mentioned Yang Wu by name. Something about Wu is going to bass or pass. I'm not quite sure.
I ran bass and pass, all possible spellings, through our databases. Got a couple of hits, we're following up, but I gotta be honest, they don't look very promising. Of course, there are hundreds of internet sites with the name Bass. We're checking out those in the DC area.
I got some movement on Eric Lee, the mid-level distributor that Howie told us about. Our guys spotted him picking up a suspicious-looking package. So they did an immediate search on him. The package contained heroin, an obvious violation of Mr. Lee's parole. He's in our custody now. We sent the heroin over to the lab to see if it matches the batch that we're looking for. In the meantime, Mr. Lee isn't talking.
Stay on him. He's all we got at the moment.
When you talked about working out, I was thinking weights, maybe some hoops.
The guy hassling Bunny last night. We have people to deal with that sort of thing. No need for you to get involved. Oh, and the way you did Heartbreak Hotel last night? Killer. Like Elvis come back to life.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, how was your workout?
Funny you should ask. Know where a guy can get some ice?
Did Tommy do that?
Yeah, he just sort of went off.
It's just his way of telling you not to be so friendly with me. I'm sorry. He gets very jealous.
Oh, don't be sorry, you didn't do anything. Has he ever hurt you?
It's a complicated relationship.
Bunny, if he mistreats you in any way because of me, I want you to let me know.
That's a paper cut compared to what he's done to some people.
You've seen him do it?
I've seen the tapes.
Tapes?
Forget I said that. Look, I just don't want anything to happen to you.
The lab report says the heroin we found on Eric Lee matches the batch we're looking for.
Great.
So we know that it's made its way here.
Yes, but if the word from our informants is right, it's only made its way to a couple of mid-level distributors, one of whom's Eric Lee.
So it hasn't been distributed street level yet?
According to the report, the drugs were wrapped in butcher paper.
Bass Meatpacking Company. The Black Dragon Club lists them as a new meat supplier.
That makes sense.
Perhaps because it's really not meat at all.
On the tape, Chen says something about Wu going to Bass.
That could mean Wooey's in town, or at least has been recently.
We need to get surveillance on that packing plant. Put somebody inside without tipping our hand.
Why don't we just take down the meatpacking plant?
Because if the heroin is there, then we have no choice but to take it, tipping off Chen and possibly Wu before we get enough evidence to nail them as being part of this.
We have to do this right. If Wu's in the area, this is a rare opportunity.
Hurry, we have another job for you.
We want you to do some undercover surveillance.
Undercover surveillance is good. Hey, give me a chance to use my new camera. I'm like a chameleon. I can blend in any way.
We want you to go undercover as an employee in a meatpacking plant.
Jack! Always with the jokes. Come on, what is it really? What, counterfeiting, maybe?
He's not joking. It's a meatpacking plant.
I'm not really the meatpacking plant type. I mean, I got too much blue blood in me to pull off that kind of thing.
Red blood, blue blood, all looks the same in a meatpacking plant.
So there I am, 6 years old at the emergency room, getting 8 pinto beans pulled out of my nose. Thanks to Troy.
You put pinto beans up his nose?
He did it himself. I just dared him to.
I could never pass up a dare from my little brother. Mom made me eat pinto beans for a week as punishment. Do you remember? Hey, do you remember this?
I didn't get that.
It's not a sign.
It's something we came up with as kids. It was our way of saying, I got your back, I got your front, we've got each other covered.
It's too bad we have to go back to when you were 6 and I was 5 to find any good memories.
I wasn't the brother I should have been. I'm sorry about that.
I'll get that.
Oh, it's probably Judy. I didn't realize it had gotten so late.
Hi, everyone.
Your son is learning ASL too?
Yes, we found out 6 months ago that he's deaf. Now I figured, who could help me out with this better than my baby brother?
And there it is. You're here because you want something from me. Me being deaf finally works for you.
No, that's not what I meant. I was afraid of you thinking that, and I didn't want to tell you because of that, but it's not true.
What's up, Howie? What's the big news?
First of all, we gotta get one thing straight. When I say I'm not right for something, take me at my word. That packing plant was disgusting. I just became a vegetarian.
But did you see the drugs?
Not exactly. However, there is one part of the building that clearly is off limits to the meatpacking crowd. Just thank your lucky stars you are working with a professional, because I got something I'm pretty sure is going to interest you even more than the heroin I'm sure is there. A dead body. And you ain't going to believe me when I tell you whose. So I brought proof.
It's Yang Wu.
The leader of the Scorpions turns up dead.
We seem to have a bit of a predicament. Bureau policy says as soon as we know about a dead body, we have to go in and open a full investigation.
Yes, but if we follow policy on the recently deceased Wu, then Chen and the entire membership of the Scorpions will know we're onto them.
Not only will the heroin disappear into thin air, we won't have anything tangible on Chen.
Technically, all we have are rumors of Wu's death.
Jack, Howie showed us a picture.
Yes, a picture of a guy who could be dead. He could also be getting a good night's rest. As temporary supervisor, it's your call.
We're walking a very fine line here.
True, but how often do we get a chance to take down an entire organization with one smack of the hammer?
24 hours. That's it.
So, we have a rumor from a moderately reliable source that Wu may be dead.
And if he's allegedly dead, who do we think allegedly killed him? Tommy Chen?
Good place to start.
We do know that he had lofty career aspirations.
But why kill and not tell?
Because if word gets out now, he's much more vulnerable to internal struggle, takeover by a rival gang. However, when his big shipment hits the streets and the cash starts rolling in, his position is much stronger.
My guess is he didn't want to kill Wu just yet. Something must have happened to force his hand.
So he hides the body until he's collected his profits. Then he produces the dead body of Wu on the one hand and cash for his minions on the other. What better way to position himself as the new leader of the Scorpions?
Bobby, we need to find out if Bunny knows anything about the drug shipment or Wu getting whacked.
Allegedly whacked for now.
Under normal conditions, I'd say she wasn't quite there yet. But since we left normal about the time Howie allegedly saw a dead body in a meat locker, I reckon we need to give it a shot.
We also need to put surveillance on the packing plant. We want to know every single person who comes or goes.
I'll fill you in. Come on.
Bunny, is that you? I told you it was her. How are you? You look great.
Excuse me, do I know you?
Yes, it's been a long time. We just want to talk to you.
Are you arresting me?
No.
Then I don't have to talk to you.
No, you don't, but we know you're afraid and we know you want out. We can help you.
I can't. I have to go.
Bunny, you can trust me.
We know Yang Wu is dead, Bunny. And we believe your boyfriend, Tommy Chen, killed him.
You know what this means? It means Tommy Chen is now in charge of the Scorpions. If you think things were bad with him before, it's only going to get worse for you now. And there's nobody to protect you from him except us. We know you're an addict. We want to help you.
What do you want?
Well, you told us Chen likes to videotape himself hurting people. If he killed Wu, we believe he would have made a tape of that killing. We need that tape.
Anything like that he would keep in his office.
We need you to be more specific.
The closet. It's got a fake wall. That's where he keeps the tapes.
I think we just got our grounds for a surreptitious warrant.
Get in and get out without them knowing.
At first, we thought it was part of the terrible twos. Tantrums, willfulness. He had some speech, so we never thought about hearing loss. Never thought his behavior was his way of trying to communicate across some kind of chasm. So now we're learning ASL and having speech sessions with Nathan. This past 6 months have been a pretty big learning curve for all of us.
This particular learning curve goes on for a while. In fact, it's more like a roller coaster. Many times it's scary, sometimes it's fun, and most of the time you're just holding on for dear life.
I'm sorry about how things turned out the other night. I know Ben may not have handled the whole situation perfectly, but his intention was good. He wants Troy in his life.
Because he wants to be there for Troy, or because he wants Troy to be there for his son?
The truth is, he wants both those things. Ben used to think that if he made enough money and was a big enough success, that would make up for his growing up poor. He was running away from the past to the I'm okay finish line. Only, what's that expression? Once you get there, there's no there. And then we had Nathan. And Ben's love for his son is what showed him his need for forgiveness from his brother.
I know this is what's best for me, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't terrified.
Oh, you'll be safe here. Chen might be able to track you to this place.
It's not what I meant. I've been using for so long. How do I stop?
You can't do it alone. That's why there are people here to help you. I'll help you. Help you?
Yeah, DC Fire Department. Annual fire alarm inspection time. Just need to take a quick look at your system.
It's down the hall. I'll show you.
Oh, there you are. I need to get something out of Elvis's dressing room, and I seem to have forgotten my key. You know where I can get another one? I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Go ahead, help the guy. We know what we're looking for, and it's only gonna take us a minute.
Okay. End the hall, then take a left.
Very important. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Hey, did you catch a show? me be the first to say it, arrogance will take down even the mightiest of men. Now, if ever I show the slightest bit of arrogance around any of you, please, call me on it.
You better have call waiting, because that's going to be one busy phone line.
Is that request retroactive?
Such acerbic wit. Don't they kind of remind you of Laverne and Shirley?
I think we should just be thankful for Tommy Chen's chutzpah and bad judgment in taping himself killing Yang Wu. And notice I didn't use the word allegedly. This little home movie is very clear about that.
Thus immortalizing for all time the evidence that is going to send Chen up the Yangtze River. This is better than a confession.
I was watching the tape of the video feed of the Black Dragon Club. Chen found out Bunny is gone. He was furious. He said when he finds her, he'll kill her.
To be safe, let's put around-the-clock security on Bunny.
You gotta be joking. Ah! Marty Pavone says that we got the tape of Chen killing Wu with an illegal search. That makes it inadmissible.
How did they figure the search was illegal? We had a warrant.
He says the warrant only covered the office, and the fact that we found the tape in a trunk that had handles on it made it transportable and therefore not part of the office. He figures that our chance of a judge not throwing it out is about 1%.
Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this isn't better than a confession.
Rehab says they were just going to call us. Bunny is gone. Someone saw her leave with a Chinese man whose description bears a strong resemblance to one Tommy Chen.
Great.
How did Chen know where Bunny was?
We don't know. How close are you to the club?
A minute away.
I'm about 10 minutes away from Bunny's apartment. Dee, what's your status?
8 away from Chen's house. Tara.
Any sightings of Bunny or Chen?
No reports yet. Our guys at the meatpacking plant say they haven't come there. We've put out Chen's license number and car description.
Hang on. They're here. Chen's got Bunny. He's taken her into the club.
On my way.
We're on it. Anyone else with them?
No, not that I can see.
Bobby, sit tight. We're just a few minutes away.
If he's decided to kill her, that could be a few minutes too late.
We're on our way, Bobby. Wait for backup.
Didn't get that, Jack. Phone's breaking up.
Bobby!
Sorry, mate. I do not like the feeling I've got.
Teams 4 and 5, subject has been sighted. Proceed to the Black Dragon Club.
Hey, what's going on?
I could ask you the same thing.
I'm not following.
I warned you, but you didn't listen. Did you think you could take her away from me?
I'm not trying to take anybody.
If I want her to go to rehab, I'll put her there.
I saw she had a problem. I was trying to help. She said she wanted to get straight. Rehab was my idea, but there's nothing going on between us.
He's right, Tommy. There's nothing between us. I don't date FBI agents.
FBI, freeze!
Freeze! Hands in the air!
Good to be the boss, huh? It's even better to have friends.
You okay?
Yeah. Elvis was always more of a lover than a fighter, Colonel. You know that.
You all right?
Doing all right, baby. Elvis is leaving the building.
Sorry.
How do you know where you were?
I called him.
You were out.
Nobody's ever tried to help me before. I wish I could have let you.
We gotta go. Maybe this is your way out.
Levi, get Sue. Get her.
Troy's on his way out.
Okay, so I straightened out the hotel bill.
Daddy. He says he wanted to meet his nephew. I was going to teach him something, but you beat me to it. I hope I can get to know my nephew and his father.
I'd like that.
Sorry.
Hey, mister. Oh.
You know, DC can be a nice place to live and work. And for a kid to grow up, especially a deaf kid, to grow up near his uncle.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Is that your uncle? Yeah.
Tommy Chen is being held for attempted murder of a federal officer.
Perhaps there should be some sort of added charge, like special circumstances for trying to kill a king.
I don't know about that, but Bobby did convince Pavone to go to Bunny with a plea. And maybe since Chen's in our custody now, she'll be willing to tell us where the bodies are buried, literally.
And help us off in the process.
Maybe to celebrate, we should all go out to a karaoke bar and Bobby can serenade us with a little Love Me Tender. Thank you. Thank you very much. Peanut butter and banana sandwiches all around.
Sorry, folks, but this time, Elvis really is leaving the building.
As your manager, I feel that was a wise decision, and frankly, I'm getting a little tired of working with talent that won't take my creative suggestions. I've got a new client. Thomas?
Come here, Levi.
Folks, say hello to Levi the talking dog. And remember, you saw it here first. Levi, what's on top of a house? Exactly, a roof. Levi, who was the greatest baseball player who ever lived? Exactly, Babe Ruth. What, you thought he was going to say DiMaggio? I'm telling you, this dog and I are going places. I'm talking about a 3-picture deal with Warner Brothers here.
My boy, my boy. Yeah, you hear that, Scylla? We're free. I finally got a chance at a real career. I got rid of that deadweight colonel from around my neck. Let's get out of here, honey, before he realizes that Pooch ain't nothing more than a hound dog.